Happy Monday. Jackie Broman here from TVA Law. And every Monday I go live here, unless it's a public holiday and I'm away, to give a short snippet of legal information. So the video will be posted to the page after it's live so that you can go back and look through all the videos and the topics, and if anything is relevant for yourself or someone else, you can go back and watch it or tag someone else's name in it. So a lot of the videos I've done have been on wills and estates and deceased estates because that's my specialty. Then I did a last few videos, a short series on property, conveyancing, transfers, etc. And now I'm going to do a short series on neighbours and living in the community and general disputes that might arise for you at home. So although we go about our daily lives without actually knowing or being conscious of it, in fact a lot of what we do on a daily basis is fairly highly regulated. So there's all sorts of regulations around fire lighting in residential spaces, rubbish dumping and rubbish collection, drainage, pets, all sorts of things are regulated. The same thing goes for noise, particularly in residential areas, but also noise regulations around people living near commercial areas. So different regulations apply. So there's all sorts of regulations under Public Health and Wellbeing Act, under Environmental Protection Act, under Local Government Act, and animals again are regulated differently for barking. So in terms of noise, the general rule is that there can't be really loud continuous noise after 8 p.m. and before 7 a.m. in the morning. So that is weekdays. Weekends and public holidays are a little bit later in the morning, so you can't get out and mow before 9 a.m. generally. So the sorts of noises that can be annoying for neighbours can be lawn mowing, power tools, music, barking animals, engines revving, motorbikes, little toy petrol cars, all those sorts of things create a lot of noise. And generally between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. it can be fine to run those things within reason. It's not open slather though during those hours from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. On weekends and 7 a.m. on weekdays. It's not just open slather where, the regulations are off, I can be as loud as I like. So even within those time periods during the day, there are regulations as to how loud things can actually be and what the circumstances are. So things to think about would be, the volume. If it's a lawnmower, it'll be going for about half an hour. It's probably only once a fortnight or so at the most. So the frequency is not that much, and it's an expected noise. It's not that long. The intensity is not that bad. Music's a different thing again, or a different example, because the volume can be turned right up or right down on music, and it depends how often your neighbour plays their music and how loud the bass is and how long it's played for at a particular time and whether they do it every single day or every single weekend. So the circumstances around the noise are looked at. So what do you do? What do you do when there's issues with noise? Well, firstly, you start keeping a diary, okay? See if the frequency and intensity are significant over a period of time. So keep your diary. Speak to your neighbour. It's best when you're living in close quarters with people not to aggravate the situation because you have to keep living there. You can't choose who your neighbours are. So do try to talk to them reasonably. If that fails, the first place to report noise to is council. Second place to report noise to is police, potentially EPA as well. So after you've tried talking to them, it's failed, you've made some reports, you've had that on record, maybe they've been spoken to by the police, it's still continuing. You can try the Dispute Resolution Centre of Victoria. It's a free service for community disputes. And only after you've tried all those things would you then look at coming to a lawyer to make some kind of court proceeding. So again, it's tricky from a legal perspective because there are regulators which should take action on your behalf. So if the regulators are not taking action, from a legal perspective, we have to look at what your rights are to even enforce personally. So the regulators are obviously council, EPA and the police. So they should be doing something. However, you do have rights to enforce yourself if no one is helping. And so there's a common law action of nuisance that you can apply for an order to have, noise ceased, or various other orders controlling the noise and consequences if it continues. It's unlikely that you'll get any damages. The orders are more of a stop sort of order. So there's the common law action of nuisance, which gives you the right to peace and enjoyment of your own property. Not an easy case to raise, so that's why we generally say try everything else first. Talk to them, dispute resolution services that are free, regulators, keep pushing the regulators, keep a diary, all these things. So this is the first video of the short series I'm going to do on neighbours and living in residential communities with other people. So neighbours and noise, I hope that was helpful. Like I said earlier on in the video, I try and do these Facebook Lives every Monday morning, a short snippet of legal information which then gets posted to the page so you can come back and look at it later. So I really hope you have a great week and I'll see you next Monday.